Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. All right, MJ fans, big day in the market today with some news coming out over Trump. Really over the US is where it matters the most, but every correlation picking up here with MJ, Canadian MJ, US MJ, you name it, everything broke out from a very, very tight, uneventful day. And I've been out running around doing appointments and a mess trying to keep up with everything, but was able to grab some positions and in some profit heading into next weekend. We just had WEED halt after hours. They got another cultivation license. I believe they have 1,700 square feet on that next location. Either way, it's bullish news heading into Monday. We'll have to see how it reacts. But here's the overall major news. President Trump has promised a top Senate Republican that he will support congressional efforts to protect states that have legalized marijuana. Essentially, this is erasing a gray area. Since the campaign, President Trump has consistently supported states' rights to decide for themselves how to approach marijuana. I received a commitment from the president that the Department of Justice's rescission of the Cole memo will not impact Colorado's legal marijuana industry. So taking away this Cole memo basically opened the door where the feds could prosecute states that have elected Canadian MJ, or excuse me, MJ in general. And this senator said, I'm not going to do what you want, Mr. President, and appoint who you want unless you tell me that there's protection. So Trump assured me that he will support federalism-based legislative solution to fix the states' rights issue once and for all. This would be big news. Again, it would protect everything. So he lifted his holds because of that. So essentially it was a deal behind closed doors in Washington to have the president assure some protection for these states that have legalized. Now, we saw everybody react, but in terms of direct effect, it's the U.S. names that matter the most, and that's why I played IIPR. We'll go over that one here at the end, but the majority of my position is IIPR for a number of reasons, which I'll explain, but I did play WEED and APH as well, and I am swinging everything into Monday as well. MJ, big follow through, and this was a good timing for the Canadian MJ sector because they were running out of momentum for the bulls at the top of this bounce over the last couple of days. MJ now big push, big bull volume, higher low, higher high, getting this follow through. Resistance is 29.88, 30, and then 30.85 is the next level it stands out to me. As far as support goes, we established some support at the end of the day, so you can look at the 15-minute time frame to see it clearly, but that base of support is now our must-hold short-term level. That's down at 29.21, and the bulls want to break the high of today, Monday first thing, on all of these names to be looking for continuation. Personally, I'm not going to be holding the Canadian MJ names as long as I'm going to be holding IIPR. Again, because this was a knee-jerk reaction by the market. The market only had 3 hours to digest this before the close. It's going to be talked about over the weekend, and the news is going to spread. Those that heard about it were definitely in the minority at the end of the day here on Friday. And now we're going to see, how long does this correlation benefit Canada, which is already a little bit extended on this bounce. So WEED, all these Canadian MJ names now are breaking their daily lower highs. So when we do see daily consolidation, we're going to anticipate a higher low to form. So a nice clear bull break, daily inside bar signal was at 28.38, and we saw a huge follow through on the news. Here's the 15-minute time frame for our key support level. Established a base of support, and that level now, the must-hold short term, is 29.19. We have resistance at 30.19 and 30.65. And again, I would expect we're going to open higher on Monday with the news after hours that came out. Whether we gap up, not sure, but wherever we open, the bulls need to break that 30.65 level first thing to give confidence in continuation. If we reject from that level, we'll likely see some profit taking. So a little bit of news over the weekend to help the potential continuation for WEED bulls. APH saw the biggest bounce, and that is number one, due to shorts having to cover, likely more shorts on APH than the other names. That is the weakest name, as it is the weakest name. But also the fact that we have those U.S. assets, and there's some, question, did they divest those assets? Did they spin them off? And I don't have the exact answer on what they did with them, but what I do know is that the market thinks that they still have U.S. assets because for the bounce on APH, the breakout to be 15%, while everybody else was at about 8 or 9%, that tells you that the market is going more heavily into APH in that reaction. So we broke the lower highs when we got over 1092. Our resistance is 1203, the high of the candlestick, and you can see the 5-minute time frame. It definitely looks like a short squeeze. Look at that bull volume, and we ran 20% in just a couple hours. We established a base of support. Again, the 15-minute time frame gives it nice and clear. We've got our support level at $11. If we were to continue trading and the day didn't run out of time, in my opinion, we would have seen an equilibrium pattern on this 15-minute time frame. So we'll see how the open on Monday affects the patterns that are shaping up here. But I do anticipate a higher open in these Canadian MJ names. Whether we can hold that higher open after 15 minutes of trading, I can't say. But I am, like I said, I am going to be lightening up my positions, locking in some profit in Canadian MJ names before the US MJ name. ACB broke the lower high pattern at 850, so breaking the lower highs, daily inside bar bull break. This is the kind of scenario where a technical signal of the daily inside bars breaking would have had you stumble into a short squeeze and a big bullish news breakout without even having to look at that news. So that was a great sign, or I should say that was a great signal that ended up following through. 15-minute time frame to find our support level. I'm looking down here at 852, and we got resistance at the high of the day. Again, those are the most two important levels. Those are the only two levels that I'm watching right into the open for all of these names. What's the low of consolidation? What's the high of the day resistance? And which is going to break first to give us momentum to start next week? APH, let's see, I already did that. Who am I missing? Cron. So Cron this is the Canadian ticker, already was the lead bull and saw a huge follow through. At this point in the last 4 days, we've gone from 663 up to 937. That is a very significant move, about 40% in 4 days. So we are getting overextended. We have to be aware that daily consolidation is coming. And look at the close on Cron. And actually, this might be after hours action. Looks like it. No, that looks like the close. Let's see here. So closing the day with some profit taking. Definitely more overbought than most names. Support is 893, resistance is 937, and because we closed down at the low of consolidation, the bulls do not have as much confidence as the other names. You can see the momentum is heading down, and we closed at the low, whereas the other names did at least see some bull run there at the end of the day into the close. So it is definitely different between those two setups, but we'll have to see. Again, the sector is going to trade together on Monday. Whether it's bullish continuation or healthy consolidation remains to be seen. And right now, WEED has some of the most potential because of that after-hours news that got this halt, whereas Cron is seeing the most short-term weakness closing down at the low of consolidation. So why I like IIPR? First off, it's an REIT. We covered this IPO, and the IPO was a dud, but certainly the bulls are back now. And this is the last bull run that we were in. So let's look at the weekly chart for more condensed. It's an REIT, which is a real estate investment trust, which means they go around buying properties essentially from marijuana producers here in the U.S. or, licensed medical marijuana facilities. This news hits home on this company the hardest. That's why I went in very large here on IIPR and not even anywhere close on the other Canadian U.S. name or the Canadian MJ names. So what IIPR does is they go around and they say there's a company and they're growing, and they need capital. They can't get capital from banks because of the federal laws. The banks aren't getting involved in the sector. So they need capital. They sell their property to IIPR. IIPR buys the property, gives them a cash infusion to run their business. And then the company pays rent to IIPR that now owns the MJ property. So the fact that Trump is now saying he's not going after states that IIPR is based in and establishing their assets in is very significant. And the other reason why I like it, look at the last all-time high break that we had. And I traded this last all-time high break, and I left a year maker on the table. And that's because the price broke the all-time high at 2052, and we ran up in 3 weeks. We ran up to 36.88. We got 16 out of 20. It's about an 80% move in 3-4 weeks. So when I say I left a year maker on the table, obviously I would have never held my full position the whole way up, but I left a lot of money on the table on that move, locking in profit because we were overextended. Look where we stand right now. If we get another blue sky breakout on the back of this news, which is going to be digested over the weekend, again, only 3 hours of digesting of this news for the market for today. So we're going to be looking for this breakout to occur, and it's very thinly traded. I want to make that very clear. The bid and the ask spread is wide, and the volume is low compared to major names on major exchanges. IIPR was the first marijuana IPO on the New York Stock Exchange. We covered it back in the end of 2016. And it's going to get attention from this. And if we get this new all-time high, I'm going to quickly put my target at $40 psychological resistance. Look at the daily time frame, the last breakout at the all-time high. We just went straight up. Look at this leg up that we had. We went from 2340, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days later, there we are up 40% in 5 days. So the bulls can get moving with a little bit of volume is the bottom line. And if we break this all-time high Monday, which is my goal for the bulls here, that would look great. We need about, let's see, 10% would put us at 38. So we need about, 6%. And today we were up over 10% at one point. So if the bulls continue this momentum and continue this volume, again, look at the volume on the daily. Today was still a low volume day comparatively. I'm looking for good things on IIPR. And I'm looking for this to be, they also pay good dividends. So this is a longer term hold for the USMJ sector. It is one of the most legitimate names that they have in the space because there are so few on real exchanges. If you're looking for MJ in the US, it's mostly penny stocks, which is not ideal. SMG, Scott's Miracle-Gro, they sell hydroponic equipment. They're in the US. GWPH does the medical aspect of things and has patents. And IIPR is the real estate investment trust. And I'm looking for good things. So I'm in 3 positions. I will take profit on a few of them on Monday likely, and I'm going to try and let IIPR ride, certainly in a break-even position at this point, and going to let it ride to all-time highs ideally this coming week. So I appreciate you watching. Certainly very exciting, and this just shows you the explosive nature of the sector where just a little bit of news can go a long way, especially in the U.S. That's why I keep saying, I cover crypto, I cover everything, and I keep saying what I'm doing for the next few years is accumulating capital to be set for life, in the sense that if I accumulate enough capital and I'm ready for the USMJ boom that we've seen in Canada and we know is going to happen in the US, just a matter of time, I'm going to smash that US boom, whether it's in 2 years or 5 years. I'm going to have a lot of capital ready for it. I mean, it's to the point where I'm going to hold off buying a house if I need to have that capital available to play the USMJ boom, because I'm planning on the USMJ boom being game over. Don't have to worry about money anymore. So financial independence is the goal, and MJ is the way there. And I hope you all have a good weekend.